Welcome to the Intro to Theory music course. Let's get started. Learning music really is like learning another language. There are musical notes that act as a letter. Those musical notes are placed together to make bigger sounds or musical words. They can then be strung together to create a musical sentence. Like language, there are many different genres and styles with how we express music using our notes. So let's start right at the beginning. We use 12 notes in music in the Western world. Below, you will see all the notes in the musical alphabet starting from a C note. As a guitar player, we will focus on how I have come to understand theory from a guitar player's point of view. You will see the slash notes below, C sharp / D flat, because the same note can have two names. Exactly like how Iron Man is also known as Tony Stark. Same dude, two words. The term for this is called enharmonic. It is the same pitch but has two names. This will become clear why as we move along in this course, but for now, be aware of that concept. The next term that is important is what happens when you move from a C to D flat. This is called a semitone. Moving up one fret will result in a semitone all the time. So if I play C to C sharp to D sharp, those are all semitones. After the semitone, there is the whole tone. One whole tone is just two semitones together. So, for example, if we go from a C up to a D, we have gone a whole tone. So we're going from C, we're skipping C sharp, and then we go to the D note. So now we have a semitone, and we have a whole tone. Just a quick note, sometimes those are called half steps and whole steps. So whole tone, whole step, semitone, half step, they're the same thing, just worded differently. We now have all the tools we need to build scales. Now, if you played all those notes starting on a C on the 5th string, if you played semitones all the way up, that would sound like this. And then we finish back on a C. So that is called a chromatic scale. That in and of itself doesn't sound very musical. You can make it sound musical. But we're going to start by building a major scale. So this is how we build a major scale. First, let's turn some of those terms that we just used earlier into shorthand. So the whole tone is just going to become a W. The half tone, or half step, will become an H. Now that that's covered, here is the formula for building a major scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So that's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Whole, half, whole, half. Say that a few times fast and see if it's not a tongue twister for you. That is the formula for a major scale. If you drop that anywhere on an instrument on your guitar, you will always get a major scale sound. So let's see what that looks like on the guitar and build it and play it so you can see it and hear it at the same time. We're going to start right here on our C note, which is the 3rd fret on the 5th string. So let's go ahead and use that formula and make a C major scale. We're going to start right here on the 3rd fret on the 5th string on our C note. Then we're going to go whole step up to D, then another whole step up to E, then a half step up to F, then a whole step up to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, then a half step to C. So a little bit faster, we've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now that might already sound familiar if you've done any music in school. It's the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do thing if you went through school learning that. That is what a major scale sounds like, and that is how you build it and how you make it. So just for fun, let's start somewhere else. Let's go to an F note on the top E string. That will be right here. We're just going to plug in that formula and make a scale. I won't even say the notes right now, and you can just hear. I'll just go whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. Let's go to the next string on a B flat. You just start anywhere and you will always get that sound. That is the sound of a major scale. So the important part of music is not necessarily which notes you're on, it's the spacing in between the notes that determine what sound is actually happening. And that little trick right there, the spacing in between the notes, is something you can eventually hear and recognize. And that is how I can listen to music and recognize what's happening without even knowing what notes we're playing. Because if I play this, I can go down here. That always sounds like a major scale. If you played that to me, I'd be like, oh, that's a major scale. I might not know what key we're in because I don't have perfect pitch. Because the spacings are always recognizable, that is how I can figure out things just by ear. And then I go to my guitar, figure out which key we're in, and then I can learn songs pretty easy. Now, recognizing all those sounds takes a while. I was in school for years, and it took me a long time to develop my ear to the point where I can hear stuff, figure it out really quickly, and then use it in an applicable way. So let's do a quick little recap here. We've learned about enharmonic, which just means that one sound can have two different names, like C sharp can also be called D flat. We've learned about semitones, which is going one fret. So if we went from C to C sharp, that is a semitone. And then we also learned about whole tones, which is going from C all the way up to D. So that is 2 frets away. So we went from C, skipped over C sharp, and then went straight to D. Then we learned the formula for a C major scale, which is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if we go ahead and build that, that would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And that is a C major scale using the whole, whole, half formula. We then learned that you can take that formula, drop it down anywhere, and play any major scale from any note. This concludes lesson 1 of the Intro to Music Theory. Hope you enjoy and happy practicing.